Before I discuss geomorphology, before I start discussing geomorphology, let me discuss the origin of universe and solar system. This is something, if you understand, only then we'll be able to come on to the earth as a celestial body, and then we'll start discussing about the earth and its land, its air, its water, and everything. Correct? So first we are going to discuss origin of universe and solar system. You know how the earth, how the solar system, how say the whole universe got originated. A lot of you might have heard about a theory called as, anybody, called as Big Bang Theory. Correct? Have you heard of this Big Bang Theory, friends? बहुत लोगों ने सुना होगा Big Bang Theory. Correct? Now, Big Bang Theory is something which is the latest one, very much universally accepted. Now, Big Bang Theory will come at the end because there were earlier theories. See, when you start discovering something, when you start researching on something, the best will always be yet to come. Before that, you start with certain scratchy things, you start with certain assumptions, hypotheses, you theorize something, and eventually you start making a theory which is very much comprehensive, which can answer a lot of things. Now, to understand that, this is the topic we are going to discuss first, and then we'll be moving into the geomorphology as such. Now, for this, there are multiple theories. There are multiple theories. And let me tell you, no single theory is wrong theory. However, no single theory can actually explain everything. So all these theories, if they are looked all together, probably they would be providing us a great picture. Probably they would be providing us a comprehensive picture of the understanding of origin of universe and solar system. एक से हो सकता है सारा ना संभल पाए, एक से सारा आंसर नहीं होगा. Many theories have been proposed to explain the origin of the universe and the solar system. Explain the origin of the universe and the solar system. Full stop. However, none explains. However, none explains all aspects completely. None explains all aspects completely. Full stop. Therefore, no single theory can be rejected. No single theory can be rejected outrightly. As each explains a part of the origin process called as Nebular Hypothesis. Nebular Hypothesis. It was given by Immanuel Kant and later on improved by Laplace in the period of 1750s to 90s. That was very early. In this period, it was all discussed about. Okay, friends, is it clear? Now, what they are talking about, you know, these two people, once they start talking about the nebula, now what they would be talking about here, keep writing. It was given by Immanuel Kant in 1750s and later on improved by Laplace in 90s. Now, in this theory, they are talking about if there is a big nebula. Nebula, you understand? Anybody what is nebula? It's a common term. You have watched Marvel series also. There is a character Nebula. What is nebula? Nebula क्या होता है? Arey, wah, wah. Good, good, good. Anybody else there? What is nebula? It is almost like a cloud of dust and gases. However, very loosely packed. Mixture of gases. Okay, Anusha, okay, fine. But it is almost like a cloud of gases and dust together. However, this has a very amorphous shape. This has a very amorphous. Amorphous means no shape particularly. Huge and hot gases. Okay, fine. And it was quite primordial. It did not have any shape as such, and it was quite primordial. Primordial का मतलब very ancient, we do not know कब से. ठीक है? That is why it is also one of the theories. See, I have been talking about science and religion, correct? Now the science is separated from religion from the perspective that science questions everything, correct? And science does not have all the answer. However, the difference with religion is actually more of a belief, more of faith, and religion has all the answer, correct? How this mountain was created, some God has created. How this earth was created, some God has created. How this universe was created, let there be light. क्या कुछ नहीं हो, सब ऐसे ही बोल सकते हैं. तो religion के पास there is always some answer. ठीक है, but science के पास नहीं होता है. That is why science is great. Having all the answer is probably not great. Correct? Yes, some answers you should not have. And that's where the question of research comes out. Because this will lead to curiosity, this will lead to research, this will lead to more thinking, more critical thinking. Correct? Now, in this nebula, what was happening? This nebula was surrounded by small, gaseous nebulas. And they were all doing chakkar around it. They were all revolving around it. Over a period of time, friends, over a period of time, everybody try to understand. Over a period of time, this actually cooled. It was very hot ball of gas. Over a period of time, it cooled. And when it cooled, it started condensing. Cooled and then condensed. Cooled and then condensed. Now, cooled and condensed. And when it cooled, it took a shape. This became the sun. And around this, multiple planets were created. And they started revolving around this. However, when this was happening, this led to the differences in terms of density. It also led to density differences. It led to density differences. What does it mean? It means when anything cools down, tell me, when anything cools down, what happens? The heaviest of the material will be at the bottom or at the top? When something is cooling down, it is cooling down. The heaviest of the things will be at the bottom or at the top? बॉटम में होगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जब हम दूध पीते हैं गरम गरम, तो सबसे गाढ़ा दूध कहाँ होता है? द मोस्ट विस्कस मिल्क इज एट द बॉटम. लास्ट में आता है वो गाढ़ा वाला दूध. लस्सी पीते हो, एवरीबडी प्लीज टेल मी, व्हेन यू ड्रिंक लस्सी, ग्लास में लस्सी होती है, देते हैं दुकान वाले जो कुल्हड़ में, सबसे ऊपर वाला तो इट इज सो इजी, यू ड्रिंक, करेक्ट? बट एट द बॉटम व्हाट डू यू हैव? एट द बॉटम यू हैव द मोस्ट गाढ़ा, द मोस्ट विस्कस लस्सी और नॉट? Correct? Yes. So tell me, when all these nebula, they're also cooling down, what will happen? For example, this explains the earth, that earth के ऊपर there is, friends, क्या है? Crust. Then at the bottom you have what? Core. And let me tell you, in the core you have the densest of the material or not? Densest of the material is settled in the core. थोड़ा सा लाइटर मटेरियल इज देयर इन द मैंटल, एंड क्रस्ट में इट इज द लाइटेस्ट ऑफ द मटेरियल. So this also explains how the earth has been structured in multiple layers depending upon density differences. Now, don't you think this is actually explaining so well? But when this was asked, this theory, these two people were asked, from where did you get this nebula? Why they were hot? Why they started cooling down? How they were revolving around each other? They did not have any answer for this. So what happened, friends, online students? यहाँ पे क्या हो गया? That they started cooling down, and this cooling down and condensing process is known by a name called as nebular accretion. Nebular accretion. This cooling, condensing, and this stratification is called as nebular accretion. Because it is believed that everything is coming out of just one nebula, that is why this is also known as monoistic theory. Also known as monoistic theory. Mahmood, Yahya, Mona Lisa, Mukesh, Kshitij, please tell me all good and clear till now. क्या यहां तक बात समझ में आ रही है आपको मुकेश कि अर्थ जैसे जैसे ठंडा हुआ, सबसे गाढ़ा, सबसे हैवी मटेरियल एट द बॉटम, सबसे हल्के मटेरियल ऊपर. हालांकि क्वेश्चन है कि ये कहां से आए, कैसे है, इट वाज नॉट एबल टू आंसर. यस, ओके. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द थियरीज. प्लीज राइट डाउन, देन विल मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट. दिस इज गुड. पहले हम समझेंगे, फिर लिखेंगे, एंड देन विल मूव फॉरवर्ड. करेक्ट. इट लिख लिया होगा. इट इज प्रपोज्ड बाय इमैनुअल कांट एंड इंप्रूव्ड बाय लैपलास. ये लिख लिया है. नाउ नेक्स्ट, अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस हाइपोथेसिस, the solar system originated from an amorphous, in bracket no shape, from an amorphous comma primordial, that is ancient, cloud of gases and dust, cloud of gases and dust, known as nebula. Nebula, full stop. This nebula began rotating. This nebula began rotating, comma cooling and contracting, leading to condensation and accretion of matter, leading to condensation and accretion of matter, called nebular accretion, And according to this theory, everybody listen to me. According to this theory, it is said that sun has almost 99.9% of the mass, and remaining 0.1% is forming all these planets and moons. तो समझ लो sun कितना बड़ा है. Do you know any of the civilization or society where sun is not worshipped? In every society sun is worshipped, है ना? And most importantly, our state of India called Bihar, Eastern UP, and I think in Eastern India, a lot of people do this Chhat Puja. Again, it's a puja for, for the sun only. Correct? So yes, sun is very, very important. Fine. Now, next point, through nebular accretion, the central mass condensed to form the sun, in bracket 99.9%, while the remaining matter aggregated to form planets and other celestial bodies. Next point. During this process, heavier elements migrated toward the center. Heavier elements migrated towards the center, whereas lighter materials remained farther away. Full stop. This explains the density differentiation of the earth. This explains the density differentiation of the earth and its layered internal structure that is core, mantle and crust. That is core, mantle and crust. अच्छा, crust के ऊपर भी कुछ है क्या हल्का फुल्का? Lithosphere. You don't know the difference between crust and lithosphere, correct? कोई बात नहीं, सीख जाओगे. Very good, Prachur. बहुत बढ़िया. Not the soil, yeah. No, not the top layer. Above the crust, you have atmosphere. Correct? So atmosphere is also part of that nebula only. So write down and atmosphere. चलो मैं बना दूं यहाँ पे. This is what? This is the atmosphere. Correct, friends? A soil is part of crust only. Yeah, Anusha. ठीक है. Now after this, there were two other theories given. Yes, Ashutosh. You know, all of those things taken into account. Then there are dualistic theories. There are dualistic theories. Here you have A. It is called as planetesimal theory. Planetesimal theory. And the other one is called as tidal hypothesis. Tidal hypothesis. This came somewhere about 1905 to 7, and this was somewhere around 1919 to 20. This was given by two scientists. Two people were involved here. Here there is Chamberlain and Moulton. Chamberlain and Moulton. And this was given by Jeffries, that is Jeans and Jeffries. Given by Jeans and Jeffrey. Now here it is called as dualistic theory because here two bodies are involved. Try to understand in this theory what they did. They said in the planetesimal theory that there was a primitive sun. There was a primitive sun. Now you understand the limitation of this theory. As soon as you say there was a primitive sun, from where this primitive sun came? Correct? No answer. And try to understand all these limitations will lead to Big Bang theory. And Big Bang theory will have a very, very different type of explanation. Very gazab ka explanation it has. Kafi mind-boggling explanation it has. Okay? Now primitive sun, or what is called as protostar. Now what happened? This primitive sun, which was very much circular and solid, it was very much circular and solid. It was very much circular and solid. It was, and after some point in time, there was an intruding star. There was an intruding star. Okay, everybody, is it good? There was a primitive sun which was quite circular and solid, and it was all there, nothing else. It was all there, kept. But sometime in the past, we do not know what is the time when it happened, and kuch nahi pata apne ko. But there was another star. This is sun is a star. but there was another star very much away from another, galaxy and all, we do not know kahan se, other solar system. Correct? This somehow got very close to our sun and did not collide with it. However, it came very close and changed the path. Or you can say it actually passed very much nearby our sun. It is almost like there is a vehicle and suddenly there's another very fast vehicle going just along with you with a very small margin. Don't you think you get disturbed? If you are riding a bike, you get disturbed. Correct? You get imbalanced you become. Correct? There's a balance is very much disturbed. Likewise, when this big star, it was coming close to the sun, proto-sun, and then moving away, what will happen? It has certain gravitational pull. Because of this, some of the material got pulled out of the sun, friends. Some of the material got pulled out of the sun. And over a period of time, the material which got pulled out of the sun, these material became what? Planet. When they came out, it was called as planetesimal. Over a period of time, they cooled down, they condensed, they started become circular, and they started revolving around this proto-sun. Now, this is proto-sun, primitive sun. Currently, we have the current sun today. That is not proto-sun, because out of which some of the material got pulled. Why? Because there's a very big intruding star, came very much near and then moved because of that gravitational pull. Gravitational pull. It pulled some material out of it, and since then it has been revolving around. Now, don't you think, Sakshi, Prachuri, Tushar, tell me, yes, Shweta, are you there? Tell me what will happen if you are talking about there's a primitive sun. Ye sun kahan se aaya? Tell me about the intruding star. Wo star kahan se aaya, from where it came, and then where it left, where it went, kahan chala gaya? Sun aaya to kahan gaya bhai? Correct? So there is no talk of this intruding star as well. Very similarly, this tidal hypothesis is also very same. Isme kya hai? They are assuming in this theory that yes, there is a sun. Correct? There is again a sun. Or say there is a primitive or proto-sun. इसमें कुछ और नहीं है. इसमें भी बोल रहे हैं that there was an intruding star. From the far it came and left. Now here, not only just some material getting pulled out of the sun, it says actually the material which got out of the sun, it was very much in cigar shaped. It was very much in cigar shaped. ये old cigar ऐसे होती थी कुछ, like a cigar shaped. Now, this is trying to explain why in our solar system, what happened, friend? This is very much what? Cigar shaped. This is very much like a cigarette, जो बड़ा वाला होता है. Correct? Cigar shaped. And over a period of time, this cigar broke into or started condensing into small particles, small materials. Today we call them as planets. And that is why you see all these cigars, all this cigar shaped material has very much small shape at the corner, or beach mein it is bigger. That is why it explains why do we have here you have Mercury, Venus, Earth, then Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Don't you think it can actually explain why you have bigger planets in the middle like Jupiter and Saturn, and why do you have smaller planets like Mercury and Pluto at the end of this? Because cigar shaped tha, so yes, it can also explain this. Still not able to explain from where this came, where it went, where this came, kya hua iska. So this is again, what is that? They call it as tidal push, tidal pull rather. Tidal pull because of this intruding star. The same thing with gravitational pull and all. But here, the change is here some material came out. Here the material came out in the form of a cigar. And this cigar, because of its size, in the middle you have bigger planets, and at the edges of the solar system, what do you have? You have smaller planets. Is it clear, friends? Is it good? Is it good enough? Dualistic theory? Correct. Write down. both explain planet formation through gravitational pull and tidal forces. Gravitational pull and tidal forces produced by gravitational interaction between two stars. Produced by gravitational interaction between two stars. Anji? Interaction between two stars. Yahya, at the end, all good? Okay. Now write down planetesimal theory. और दोनों ही लिख लो, planetesimal and tidal hypothesis दोनों साथ में ही. Under this, a primitive sun, that is proto-sun, a primitive sun, that is proto-sun, existed first. Okay, Sakshi, I'll answer. Just write down. Existed first. Next point. A nearby intruding star. Intruding star passed close to it. Full stop. Its gravitational pull or tidal pull. Caused the protosun to eject gases, dust and solid matter. अच्छा, इन ब्रैकेट में ही, क्योंकि दोनों सेम थियरी सेम ही है, इन ब्रैकेट राइट डाउन इन टाइडल हाइपोथेसिस it was a filament like or filament as cigar shaped. बस इतना लिख लो, because both the theories are same. Correct, both the theories are same, बस थोड़ा सा ही अंतर है. ठीक है. Next point. This ejected matter or cigar, or this ejected matter or filament, revolved around the protosun, comma cooled, comma condensed and accreted into planetesimals. And later became planets. ठीक है. Our limitations वगैरह तो you understand है ना, we are not mentioning that. Now Sakshi is asking, sir, is the tidal theory still considered to explain planet formation? Sakshi, read the first line after we started discussing this solar origin or universe origin. What we said, none theory is completely correct, but none of them can be rejected outrightly as well. So yes, Sakshi, to explain the size, how the planets are larger in between and smaller at the edges, yes, you can use this theory to explain. Correct? So for some reason this theory is still considered, but for majority of its explanation it is probably not considered acceptable today. But हाँ, इस part के लिए you can say so. ठीक है? That is why we are discussing, Sakshi. If it was completely wrong, probably नहीं discuss करते. Some of the part can be still appreciated. Now, there's a theory. It is called as the hybrid theory or binary star hypothesis. Next, hybrid or binary star hypothesis. This theory was presented by this person known as Russell. Presented by Russell, double L though. Now here, this is again interesting. To explain something, you are adding new thing. For example, they were asked from where this intruding star came. Correct? So this theory said, no problem, sir, there were actually two stars. There were two companion stars. These two stars were companion. These are like dumbbell. ऐसा सोचो, everybody. Again, I explained this to earlier. एक दिन explain किया था about moon and earth. नहीं किया था, कोई बात नहीं. Okay, everybody come here. Suppose this is a dumbbell. जो हम gym वगैरह में we use dumbbell. Suppose this is one ball on this side. This is the other ball on this side. Now these two are companions. These two balls are companion. Yes, companion. They are together always. Now tell me, what if they are actually revolving around each other, or say their center of mass? Yes, suppose somewhere in the middle, that is the center, correct? And they are revolving around each other. They are revolving around each other like this. They are revolving around each other. Now this was there like a dumbbell, and they are revolving around each other around that common center of mass. Okay, fine, everybody, common center of mass. Now it is saying, this theory is saying, now the third star, it came close, like intruding star. This is the third star. Now it came close to one of the stars. This is also what? Companion. These two are two companion stars. Fine. Now, listen. This third star came very close to one of the stars. And because it came close, again what will be happening? This star will be pulling some mass out of it. Correct? Some mass out of will be pulled. Or rather, it will be completely broken apart. It will be completely broken apart. So what he is trying to say, this third star which came here, now breaking off or pulling so much of material out of the second star, and the first star is still intact, and they were all revolving around that common center of mass. So there will be this one star which is common. This is the early star, and this second star which has been broken into multiple parts now. Correct? Now what will happen? They will start revolving around this. They will start revolving around this. You get my point? All these broken material, they were revolving together. Now they are starting to revolve around this mass. Understood, everybody? Please tell me you get my point. Here the third star has been used to explain how these planets would have been formed. यहाँ पे एक और star था. That star got broken. Broken होने के बाद they got converted into multiple small planets, and that small planet is now revolving around the earlier sun or earlier star. Today it is known as what? Sun, and these are what? Planets. Let me tell you, more or less these theories are same. कोई दो स्टार, कोई एक स्टार, कोई नेबुला, कोई तीसरा स्टार बोल रहा है. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, they would all be questioned from where these stars are coming. Correct? What was happening before the formation of these stars or these planets, these nebula? From where they are all coming? And this star which you are very conveniently using, ऐसे conveniently use कर लिया, but there is no further reference, there is no further discussion on from where it came and from where it is, where it is going to. So yes, that will always be the question, and that is why these theories somehow got limited. Now, there will be another theory, that is something, a beautiful theory would be coming out, because of which the Big Bang was, also inspired. So write down about this hybrid or binary star hypothesis. Under this, binary stars are two star system rotating around their common center of mass. Next point, an intruding star comes very close. An intruding star comes very close to the binary system, and ejects matter from one of the stars. Next, the ejected matter accretes into planets. The ejected matter accretes into planets. And start revolving around the other star. Now, there's another theory. It's called as interstellar. Write down interstellar hypothesis or interstellar dust hypothesis. Dust hypothesis. It was given by Schmidt. Now, for the first time, he started talking something which is beyond the understanding, and that is why everybody started understanding. Anything which becomes very complex, sometimes people start taking it very seriously. नहीं, ये सही बात है. Now, Schmidt is talking about कि in the universe there is a lot of dust, gases, materials already there, and also there are certain materials which are called as dark material or dark matter. Dark material, dark matter. This dark material, dark matter, this is very important. अगर आपने कभी सुना होगा, anybody have you heard of this dark matter and dark energy? Why they are called as dark? Because they are dark, no light can pass. नहीं. I mean, that is one of the examples. Yes, sir, they are found indirectly. Yes, absolutely indirectly found करते हैं. It is almost like this, friends. If there is some matter there, जो हमारा universe, it is called as space-time fabric, energy behind expansion of. Very good, Shubham. Correct. Now try to understand हमारा जो universe है, that there's so much of material and it is made up of time space fabric. ऐसा सोचो, एक बहुत बड़ा सा bedsheet है. That bedsheet has two type of threads. One is time, the other is space. In this time and space, there's so many matter. Some of the matter is not visible because it does not interact with electromagnetic waves such as light. Light से interact ही नहीं हो रहा, तो हमको दिखता ही नहीं है. What is happening here in the time space fabric? What do you have in the time space fabric? You do have certain places जहाँ पे there is large depressions. Now, how this large depression? Suppose you have a big bed sheet. उसके बीच में you are putting 5 kg of weight. Don't you think that big bed sheet will have a hole, will have a depression? And what if you are not able to see, but you are able to see that hole, that depression you are able to see? Don't you think you will conclude there is some weight which we are not able to see? Likewise, time space fabric mein there is some hole, there is some depression which we are not able to see, and scientists are concluding that these are actually dark matter. They are not interacting with the light के साथ interact नहीं कर रहे हैं. it is somewhere about हमारे solar system का about 27% is this. Then what is dark energy? Everybody, have you heard, Ashutosh, Prachurya, have you heard this? Our universe is expanding. Our universe is expanding. To expand something, you require energy. What is that energy? वो भी नहीं पता अपने को. हमको नहीं पता कि what is that energy which is causing the expansion of universe. एक एक गुब्बारा, एक balloon है, you are expanding it, you are inflating it. You will require to push energy into it or not. यहाँ पे इतना बड़ा universe is expanding, but you do not know what that energy is. Making up, scientists are calculating it somewhere about 68%. तो दोनों मिला कितना हो गया? Somewhere about 95%. So in reality, scientists are concluding that about 95% of our universe, we are not sure what it is, and whatever we can see is just somewhere about 5%. Only 5% is something we know. Planet, sun, stars, galaxy जो देख पाते हैं, और उससे कितना 95% तुमको पता ही नहीं क्या. Now this is Schmidt saying ये जो dark matter है, this has made all these stars, binaries, all these planets, etc. However, he could not explain that well. Now the Big Bang theory will come and explain this. So write down, as per this theory given by Schmidt, the universe contains dust, gases and matter across the universe, and for reasons not fully explained. As per Schmidt, or as per this hypothesis, as per Schmidt, this dark matter condensed into millions and billions of solar systems. Millions and billions of solar systems. अब इन सब के बाद there is this popular theory called as Big Bang theory. Now the Big Bang theory, now this is going to be a beautiful theory. Why I'm telling you this? Universally accepted, one. Second, this theory tries to go beyond, tries to evade all those questions which were asked earlier, because from whatever you start, there will be a question from where this body came, from where nebula came, from where star came, from where binary came, from where intruding star came, from where third star came, where it went. There will always be this question. So this theory given by George Lemaitre and later on improved by George Gamow, George Gamow later improved this theory. Now what is this theory? Try to understand that they are going to take certain assumptions, and these assumptions are so beautiful कि इस पे क्वेश्चन ही नहीं कर पाओगे. इनके assumptions हैं कुछ. These assumptions have, write down, Big Bang theory propounded by George Lemaitre and later on improved by George Gamow in 1920s. Core assumptions. In core assumptions, everybody write down: universe came into existence around 13.7 billion years ago. Universe came into existence around 13.7 billion years ago. Now, this theory also assumes the globe, the universe all started as from a singularity. Now, इतना लिख लो, आगे इसके आगे मैं लिखाऊंगा. It started from a singularity. Now, this is a beautiful concept, everybody. What is singularity? In the next page, singularity is a point-shaped thing. Now, this is called as singularity or a state of singularity, called as state of singularity. Called as state of singularity. Now, this singularity is very small. Or whatever small it is, for example, you can say, sir, atom, sir, subatom, sir, subatom. But whatever you take, whatever that small particle you take, there will always be this question, from where it came. Yes, कितना भी छोटा ले लो, तब बोलेंगे कि from where it came. Correct? Now, from where it came. Let me tell you, मैंने इसको तो दिखाने के लिए बना दिया इतना बड़ा. Otherwise, they took this. This has zero volume. Zero volume? Is anything possible of zero volume? Zero volume का मतलब छोटा 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 मतलब zero यार, zero मतलब कुछ नहीं. So if somebody is asking you, or these theorists, or these Big Bang people, from where this came, singularity, then they will ask, what? This singularity. So they will ask, are you able to spot it? Because it has zero volume. Zero volume का मतलब कुछ नहीं. So this song of Rockstar movie called Kun Faya Kun Faya Kun. Have you heard of this song? In this song, there's a line, there's a, he sings, जब कहीं पे कुछ नहीं भी नहीं था तब तू था. Correct? जब कहीं पे कुछ नहीं भी नहीं था. Ah, very good, Kshitij. Absolutely. तब तू था. So what is that कुछ नहीं? कुछ नहीं is this state of singularity. Nothing. It is nothing. Correct? So now it is trying to explain जब कहीं पे कुछ नहीं भी नहीं था तब तू था. That means religion has all the answer. वही था. Yes. Now it has the answer, but Big Bang does not have. इसके पहले क्या था? Because when this was a singularity, can you believe there was nothing, yaar? I mean, was there time? No. Was there energy? No. Was there matter? No. Was there light? No, nothing. Why nothing? Because this is zero volume. And in this zero volume, can you believe? It had infinite mass. That means what Sakshi suggested. It had infinite mass. Infinite mass. दुनिया में जितनी चीजें हैं, दुनिया में जितनी चीजें, अच्छा महादेव थे, ठीक है. I mean, depending upon our beliefs, कुछ ना कुछ था. Absolutely. Now, tell me, in zero volume, can you imagine everything? जो भी आसपास दिख रहा है यार, इंडिया, पाकिस्तान, मैं, तुम, अर्थ, सैटर्न, जुपिटर, मिल्की वे, एंड्रोमेडा, अदर गैलेक्सीज एंड ऑल द यूनिवर्स, जितने भी स्टार, सन एटसेट्रा, ऑल दीज ब्लैक होल, सब कहां पे थे? इन दैट सिंगुलैरिटी. इज इट पॉसिबल? प्रोबेबली नो. आई एम नॉट श्योर. बट दिस इज वेयर दे स्टार्ट questioning, keep questioning it. But my question is, everybody try to imagine when there was a singularity, nothingness. So this nothingness was also somewhere in, किसी चीज में तो रहा होगा nothingness. What was that before it? और इसके बाहर क्या था? उस nothingness के बाहर क्या था? I mean, कुछ तो रहा होगा. I'm not sure. This is where it actually stops. But ठीक है, this is what they're assuming. Now tell me anything having such a small volume, that is zero volume, infinite mass. Tell me density would be infinite. It will have infinite density or not? Infinite density. Correct? Infinite density. Now, 13.8 or 13.7 billion years ago, for some reason, this singularity actually exploded. This singularity actually exploded. This singularity actually exploded. Infinity density, infinity term. Yes, yes, yes. It exploded. And when it exploded, it started expanding very quickly, even less than a second. That the age of universe is an assumption. I always thought it was somehow proven. No, it is actually assumption. You know, by studying the light and the photon and the energy which is there in the space, the heat which is available in the space. So you are all trying to assume. Yes, it is almost like a say mathematical assumption, mathematical proving. Have you watched this series Sakshi and others, Ashutosh, Anusha? एक बहुत ही छोटी सीरीज है called as यंग शेल्डन. सुना है आपने? कोई बात नहीं. एनीबडी हैज वॉच्ड यंग शेल्डन? उसमें क्या है? अच्छा देखा है आपने साक्षी? साक्षी रिमेंबर वहां पे क्या है कि his mother is very much a believer in God and this person called young Sheldon is actually an atheist. तो एक बार याद है अपनी उसकी माँ बहुत अपसेट थी. शी वाज हैविंग डबल थॉट्स अबाउट गॉड्स. तो उसको लगा यार माय मॉम ओनली हैज दिस वन थिंग गॉड, शी डज नॉट हैव एनीथिंग एल्स. हाँ, yes, he was finally nice to her, absolutely. So he came back and said to his mom, you see mom, I'm not sure whether there's God or not, but people say if there is God, the God would be a mathematician. Why? Because our earth is placed exactly at that point where the life is possible. थोड़ा सा इधर थोड़ा सा उधर होते, probably life was not possible. So probably a mathematician would be pointing somewhere on that paper and creating everything. So somehow he was actually proving his mother right and again trying to boost her confidence. No, start feeling good. I mean, that's a really good series. I'm not sure how many people enjoyed it. I have watched, I think, 5 seasons when Sheldon was there, but uske baad somehow I left it. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? This majority of the universe, it is said that, imagine there's a time, and this time is what? 10 to power minus 32 seconds. यानी एक सेकंड भी नहीं हुआ है, not even 1 second. And there is a very quick inflation. The universe inflated really quick, not even a second. एक सेकंड का millionth टाइम छोटा, millionth टाइम से भी कम टाइम में the universe expanded so quick. And you believe it is 10 to power minus 32 seconds, and even now the 1 second is not done. It is somewhere about 10 to power minus 6 seconds. And for the first time, that matter is created, which is called as quark. Quark, anti-quark. And you know what is this quark? It is believed that कि atom है, atom के अंदर there is electron, proton, neutron. Let me tell you, जो electron, proton, neutron are formed, वो भी किसी चीज के बने हैं. They are called as what? Quarks. So this quark is responsible for creating electron, proton, and neutron. Everybody, do you get my point? That for the first time, even that was not even a second happened after the Big Bang, that all these quarks were formed. And it is said that within 1 second, when this 1 second happened, the first second, because this quark was created, some of the atoms, electron, neutron, proton was created, some of the most basic elements started being created. What is the most basic element in your periodic table? सबसे basic element, सबसे easy element क्या है? Hydrogen. 1, atomic number 1. Yes, absolutely correct, Ashutosh. So it is said that within 1 second, hydrogen was created, and over a period of time, this hydrogen started forming into helium and other elements, etc. Correct? All those other elements started being created after the creation of hydrogen. So hydrogen is something most abundant gas in our atmosphere, or in our universe even today. And over a period of time, these hydrogen atoms, etc., they started getting, solidifying, ऐसे solidify होने लगे in every place and still expanding. They started solidifying in multiple places, accretion, nebular accretion, everything. And there can be galaxies created. There are a lot of galaxies created out of these. Now these are what? These are galaxies. In these galaxies, what do you have? Lot of stars, lot of planets, and lot of materials. It is said that only after the Big Bang we had the emergence of time, energy, matter, light. All of these came after Big Bang only. Acha, why there was no time before the Big Bang? Why do you think there was no time before the Big Bang? Because whatever material was there, whatever thing was there, it was actually confined into that small thing. That is zero volume. Zero volume मतलब सब कुछ वहीं पे है. So for example, if I have to move from this place to this place, if I have to move from this place to this place, it took some time. But tell me, if I am moving from this place to this place, because everything is what? Singularity. I don't have to move. Nothing has to move because everything is confined into that one thing. Time क्या है? Time is actually a unit telling you, I mean, what duration did you take from moving to this place to that place? जब वहां पे प्लेस का कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं है, जब वहां पे स्पेस का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है, एवरीथिंग इज कन्फाइंड इनटू दैट सिंगुलैरिटी कॉल्ड एज स्टेट ऑफ सिंगुलैरिटी. तो फ्रॉम वेयर टाइम विल कम? तो टाइम नहीं था, लाइट नहीं, एनर्जी नहीं, नथिंग. सर व्हाट मेक इट टू एक्सपैंड इवन व्हेन इट कैन बी लाइक दैट? नो, व्हाट इट इज कॉल्ड एज द बिग बैंग. दैट इज द मिस्ट्री. Some explosion happened, probably because of that all the matter got confined to that small place. It led to very high temperature and that explosion, and since then it is still expanding. इसके बाद within few seconds में the expansion was so fast, and since then the expansion is still happening but slowing down. Slowly and slowly it is still expanding. ठीक है? There are certain evidences were asked. Do you have certain evidences? In the evidences, supporting Big Bang, one is called as redshift, or also called as Hubble law. Tell me, everybody, you have this, suppose you are standing in a place, you are studying in your room, and there is a barat or there is a DJ running around somewhere very much far. You have some sound coming to you, but what if that DJ start moving close to your home? You are studying close to your house, you are studying, and it comes very much near. Tell me, the voice, the volume, you will have a sharper volume when it is near. And what if it start leaving behind? फिर दूर जाते what will happen? The sound will be down. Now tell me, why this happened? You did not move from any place. You were there at your place only, but the sound you started hearing, it started increasing in volume. Why? Because that sound source started moving close to you and then moving beyond. You did not move. आपने कुछ change नहीं किया. Likewise, if the earth or the universe, suppose ये universe है, and universe में suppose you are standing here, ठीक है, and then there is a source of light and it is coming to you, and you are standing on earth, correct? The source of light, it is coming to you. Now whatever light is coming to you, it is called as Hubble's law. Whatever light is coming to you, it has certain wavelength. Everybody, it has certain wavelength which you can measure it through certain tools. Machines होती हैं light की wavelength को measure करने के लिए. Now you might have heard of this concept called as Vibgyor. Everybody, have you heard of this concept called Vibgyor? Now in the Vibgyor, you know, any light can be, you know, there's a spectrum of light in a white light. जहाँ पे there is spectrum of 7, Vibgyor, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Have you ever observed when the sun is rising or sun is setting, the sun looks red, but दोपहर में 12-1-2 बजे in the afternoon you will be having sun just up and above, and it will be very much, you know, bluish, or it will be very much yellowish. ऐसा कुछ दिखेगा उस समय. Why the same sun is red during sunset and sunrise and very much light colored, very much yellowish, or very much say yellowish ही बोल देते हैं चलो, when it is in the afternoon? Why? Nothing is changed, only the distance. Absolutely, Shubham. during the sunrise and sunset, we are farthest away from the sun. So the wavelength which start coming, जब कोई भी light बहुत दूर से आती है, so what is happening? Vibgyor में, if you go from V to R, violet to red, the wavelength actually increases. So suppose somebody is giving you light, correct? If you are close enough, don't you think you will get receive white light में, you will get receive, or you will receive the light which is very much violet. Light source थोड़ा और दूर गया, because violet has smaller wavelength, it might not be able to reach you. What will reach you? The indigo. थोड़ा light source और दूर गया, now indigo is also not reaching you. What is reaching? Blue. Then और दूर green, yellow, orange and red. And you know, anything which is danger sign कहीं पे भी होता है, that is always shown in red. Why? Because the red color or the red light has longer distance or longer wavelength, so it can travel longer distance. Now what is happening, friends? Suppose this Hubble person 1929 में, what he did, he started measuring the light coming from certain galaxies. कुछ stars वगैरह से जो light आ रही थी उसको measure किया, the same star, the same light. Now after certain years he measured the light again, the wavelength again, the same source, the same light, but what he observed, the wavelength over a period of time has increased. Increase हो गया. The light going between two galaxies, here the light coming from the same galaxy to the same galaxy, it has increased in terms of wavelength. It has increased in terms of wavelength, meaning the source of light would be moving away or not. The source of light would be moving away or not, correct? If the source of light is moving away, how is this possible? That means this star would have come here and now it is sending light this way, where the wavelength has increased. Can we say if the wavelength has increased, can we say there is a red shift? The light going from green, yellow to redder wavelength, higher wavelength, that is called as red shift. Now this red shift is only possible if the universe is expanding. The two galaxies are moving away from each other. So he measured it for multiple galaxies, multiple light sources, and he found the same result. This is called as Hubble's law. Called as Hubble's law. Easy to understand, everybody? क्या ये बात समझ में आई आप सबको? Is this you understand? Yes, Aditi, Akshay, बताओ भाई. शुभम, ठीक, okay, क्षितिज, ठीक है. Now there is another evidence. It is called as CMBR. That is cosmic microwave background radiation. Cosmic microwave background radiation. Everybody understand? Understand that? Have you ever played Holi? Holi खेले होगे? होली के just one day before, what do you have this होलिका? तो आप क्या करते हो? रात में जाते हो, होलिका is burnt. There's so much of fire, so much of things. कितने एक्सीडेंट भी होते हैं बार बार तो, लेकिन हाँ ठीक है. There's so much of fire there. And what do? In the morning you have to visit that होलिका. You have to use that ash there. Ash होता है, उसको चेहरे वेरे पे लगाते हैं, तिलक लगाते हैं, और whatever that ash used in, it is almost like respected, correct? It's a very holy thing. Now tell me, when you go near to that holika, what happens? It is still hot or not? Why it is hot? If you were not visiting that holika in the last night and you are going there and finding out that it is hot, what does it mean? Suppose आप रात में नहीं गए थे and you are coming in the morning and finding that यार यहाँ पे थोड़ा बहुत तो अभी heat है, तो what does it mean? इसका क्या conclusion है? Don't you think you can conclude that this would have been very, very hot some time ago? This would have been very, very hot some time ago, and over a period of time it cooled down, and that is why there is some heat left. Correct? It is almost like ash after fire. Now you go into the universe. Universe में, suppose this is Earth. Earth के बाद you go, there are so many space objects. Space में lot of material is left. Now there's a spectrometer. There are a lot of tools. आपने उठाया इसको, आपने उठाया इसको, हर जगह गए, and you found out there is a type of faint heat or light in every cosmic body. Star तो छोड़ दो, star is a different thing because star में तो nuclear fusion process going around, but irrespective of that, any space rock, any asteroid, any meteoroid, सब में ना there is some faint light or faint heat, एकदम छोटा सा heat बचा है. Now why that heat is there? How that heat is there? In every body there is some heat. How is this possible? Don't you think the only possibility is it was very, very hot sometime before, over a period of time it cooled down, and now that is why some heat or ash is, or some light is still intact. Meaning there happened the Big Bang, and after that it is cooling down, proving Big Bang happened, and that is why universe is expanding. Then there is another that is called as supernova explosions. Supernova explosions. Now try to imagine, जो stars होते हैं ना, stars when they die, big stars, I'm not talking about small stars, when the big stars they actually die, when they are about to die, when they are about to become black holes or neutron stars, they actually explode so much. And very interestingly, ये जितने भी stars होते हैं, depending upon, irrespective of their size, when they start exploding at the end of their cycle, that explosion is called a supernova explosion, and that is same brightness. Always they have same brightness. Research going on कि जितना भी बड़ा या छोटा स्टार हो, if it is creating supernova explosion, the brightness is same. The brightness is same. Now, scientists also found out on the lines of Hubble's law, if there is a supernova explosion happening, the star is dying, and the light is coming to you. When you are measuring the light distance, correct? Whatever light is coming, जो light का wavelength measure किया, whatever light का wavelength measure किया आपने, measure किया, that wavelength is there. But when you actually measure the distance of the star, actually the distance is greater. Distance is greater. How? Because whatever light came, it traveled some time ago. Whatever light started from there, you are measuring the wavelength of that light, but the actual distance, it has increased by then. जब आप actual distance measure करोगे, because of the universe expanding, don't you think star has moved beyond? Correct? So don't you think all these three making the evidence for Big Bang or making the evidence for universe expansion or not? Yes, everybody, do you get my point? Kavita, Shweta, Aditi, Ashutosh, बताओ. All these three, be it redshift, be it CMBR, or be it supernova explosion. Supernova, what is happening? The same brightness, हर star का यही है कि whatever light is coming to you, आपने measure किया wavelength, but when you actually measure the distance is actually larger. Whatever you expected from this wavelength, कि आपको लगा this is the wavelength, this should be the distance, but you actually measured, it is longer. Yes, Ashutosh, I explained again. Now you get my point. Whatever light came, you measure the wavelength. Now you are assuming or you are calculating एक distance कि ठीक है, from this distance, if the light is coming, this should be this particular wavelength. But when you actually measure the distance was greater. क्यों? Because by then the universe has expanded, the star has gone beyond further. Correct? So it is again proving the universe is expanding and Big Bang happened. हाँ जी, क्लियर हो गया अब. ठीक है. प्लीज टेल मी आपने क्या क्या लिखा है. हैव यू रिटन दिस? सिंगुलैरिटी नहीं लिखा, कुछ नहीं लिखा, ये नहीं लिखा. चलो राइट डाउन दिस. बिग बैंग ये लिख लिया होगा. द यूनिवर्स केम इनटू बीइंग अराउंड 13.7 बिलियन ईयर्स अगो. ठीक है, राइट डाउन. नेक्स्ट assumption. Under this, the universe started as a single point. The universe started as a single point called as a state of singularity. Called as state of singularity. Next point. Singularity is zero volume with infinite mass, so infinite density, therefore infinite density. बेटा ये क्या कॉपी है? During the Big Bang, the single point inflated, and exploded violently, resulted in expansion of the universe. Exploded violently and resulted in expansion of the universe. Next point. During the initial seconds after the explosion or after the Big Bang, the expansion of the universe was very rapid. And after a considerable time, the expansion slowed down. Next, the Big Bang led to the creation of time, space, energy, matter, galaxies, stars, solar system, etc. ठीक है. Evidences भी लिखने हैं anyone? You're done. I mean लिखने हैं अलग से लिखाऊं? लिखो. Evidences supporting Big Bang. Evidences supporting Big Bang. Under this, Edwin Hubble, 1929. लिख लिया ना? First redshift. First लिखिए redshift. Under that, Edwin Hubble in 1929 found distant galaxies are showing red shift. Meaning the light coming from a galaxy is increasing in wavelength, proving the Big Bang. Next, CMBR, cosmic microwave background radiation. वो जो faint heat और faint light है ना, that is also called microwave. ठीक है, write down. CMBR is a faint light or heat glow. CMBR is a faint light or heat glow uniformly present. Heat glow uniformly present across the universe. It is like the leftover heat from the Big Bang. Right on. Third, supernova explosion. Next, under this, every dying star called supernova every dying star called supernova has the same fixed brightness to stop. When the light measured from a supernova expansion, when the light is measured from a supernova expansion, the actual distance of the star is greater. The actual distance of the star is greater as per the wavelength calculation of the light, as per the wavelength calculation of the light. Now, before I start discussing, before I start moving into the Earth, I have to discuss the geological time scale. Blue shift effect is same as red shift. No, blue shift is something when something comes close to you. That is bluish. वही मैंने बताया था ना? When the sun is very much close to you, that is bluish. है ना? और bluer की तरफ होता है. When the light source comes near to you, the wavelength will be shifting towards blue. When the light source is going beyond, it will be shifting towards red. ठीक है. Now, let's understand a thing called as geological time scale. Geological time scale. Geological time scale. Can we say red shift as हाँ बिल्कुल Doppler effect of the universe. ठीक है. Doppler effect is something to do with sound. इसीलिए मैंने DJ वाला example दिया था. But अभी Doppler वगैरह लिख के मैं confuse नहीं करना चाहता. ठीक है. Doppler is to do with the sound. When sound waves, the source of the sound wave, it start traveling. If it is near to you, the volume is higher. If it is away from you, the volume is lower. Correct. ठीक है. Yes, Pankaj, you are correct. 13.7 billion years ago, and a lot of things. In fact, it is said that हमारा जो Earth है, Earth is created somewhere about 4.6 billion years ago. $4.6 billion years ago. This 4.6 billion years ago is also something, quite old. It is not new. 4.6 billion years ago. I keep asking this question. What do you think? Suppose 4.6 billion years, 13.8 billion years ago we have had. We started say from January, then February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Correct? What do you think? January से हमने start किया होगा. जब भी उसका जन्म हुआ होगा, say it is January. Whenever it started, say it is 1st January. हम कहीं नहीं आए यार. We not even came in November or even in December. We came somewhere 31st December. And probably 31st December को भी not in the morning, not in the afternoon, not in the evening. Midnight, when it was about to be 12 o'clock. जब 12 o'clock होने वाला था ना, बस कुछ एक सेकंड बचे रहे होंगे. For example, it might be 11 o'clock, 59 minutes, 50 seconds. कुछ एक seconds बचे थे. Probably since then we are here. That means we are so new. We really do not know. Whatever we are speculating of the past, it's based on so much of speculation and say whatever calculation we have had. It is not easy to speculate of the past. But ठीक है, जो है वो है. Correct? So this is where we started actually a journey from. तो हम बहुत ही नए हैं. Now, इतनी चीजों को काउंट करने के लिए, don't you think we have to have certain scale? For example, one of the largest time units क्या होते हैं आपके पास? For example, चलो, if I can say century. Yes, we talk actually in centuries. Centuries के अंदर क्या होते हैं? Certain years, or say rather decades. Correct, friends? Decades. Decades के अंदर multiple years. Multiple years के अंदर multiple months. Months में weeks. Weeks में days. Days में hours, minutes, second. We can actually, very much confine this. Likewise, for this big time scale, scientists have found out or classified into, सबसे बड़े वालों को क्या बोला? Eons. क्या बोला भाई? Eons. And then below that, light year is actually measure of distance, Prachurya. It is not time, it is actually distance. Within eons, there will be certain eras. Eras के अंदर there will be certain periods. Periods के अंदर there will be certain epochs. Epochs के अंदर there will be certain ages. And this is how scientists have अच्छा कोई बात नहीं. Scientists have classified the time this way. Now, if we talk about Earth, इसके लिए there will be no separate dictation. I hope कि NCERT में you go and read. I hope first chapter तो मैंने बोल दिया था पढ़ने को, correct? Now go and read second chapter. Read the second chapter also. And at the end of it, you will find a geological time scale. Geological time scale है. Do refer to that. Do refer to that. Now let's see. It is said that there have been 4 eons we have seen right now. The first one is, suppose this is 4.6 billion years ago. It's somewhere about 4.6 billion years ago. The Earth would have started. Yes, from where the Earth started. When the Earth started, it was very hot. It was called as Hadean eon. This is the eon. क्या है यहाँ पे? This eon. Eon में this is Hadean. And Hadean का मतलब समझते हैं? Hadean is also like hell type. Hell, like hell. Hell मतलब समझते हैं नरक. हाँ, बिल्कुल. It is coming from Greek. Because Earth was like a hot ball of gas. ये क्या नरक ही जैसा था? कहते नहीं तू दोजख की आग में जलेगा. Yes. कहते नहीं ऐसा? क्या बोलते? तू नरक में जलेगा टाइप से. दोजख की आग में जलेगा. हाँ, वही यही है दोजख. This is what they actually mentioned. Hadean. After Hadean, there is Archean. Everybody, Hadean में क्या it is? Hot ball of gas. And probably it is cooling down. Cooling down. ठीक है? It is cooling down. Now, after this came Archean. Archean के बाद this came Proterozoic. And in these two times, what is happening? Cooling down. So don't you think when it is cooling down, I have told you when it is cooling down, जब कोई भी चीज cool down होगा, tell me it will start cooling down from the outer or from the inside? Outer से cool होगा. Inside में तो it is still very warm. But from the outer side, any ball would be starting to cool down. अच्छा, जब cool down होगा, so when the earth is cooling down, don't you think this is the time when the first crust would be created? Crust create होगा. This was the time जहां पे some continents and oceans were created. This is the time when certain mountains were created, like Aravallis, like Appalachian. This is the time when your oceans were created. So certain lives, very simple type of lives. For example, you have cyanobacteria, amoeba, you had certain blue-green algae. All of these were created during these two times. And this is the time also called as what? It is also considered as Precambrian. Precambrian. It is called as what? Precambrian. These two are called as Precambrian. So here what is happening? The life probably has started kahan pe? In the ocean. Very simple life, blue-green algae, cyanobacteria, and you know, it is still one of the highest order mysteries of the earth, the how life started on the earth. Life कैसे start हुआ होगा earth पे? That again a big mystery. Asteroid की भी एक theory है that one of the asteroids might have hit the earth, उसके ऊपर life रही होगी, and the life somehow introduced to the earth also. One of the theory suggests, or it is very much accepted, एक तो theory है through chemical reaction. हाँ वही पंकज, it is theorized that chemical तो थे ही earth पे, all these chemicals were creating chemical reaction, and somehow that's a mystery how this chemical reaction got converted into biological reaction. ये अपने को नहीं पता है, but this is how it might have been. Correct? Certain cyanobacteria, certain chemosynthesis wale, then eventually blue, green algae and everything would have been created. Very, very simple. Biology में क्या होता है that they start replicating, they start producing other. Reproduction is the process. How it is happening, सब एक mystery है. We not sure. What if I can answer? Next year Nobel Prize for me. Now this is called as Proterozoic, and let me tell you, in all of these times there was invisible life. Invisible life. Life was not visible. ठीक है? ठीक है. And after this, what do you have? What eon you have? चलो यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ मैं ऐसे. You had this eon called as Phanerozoic. Phanerozoic. इसका मतलब क्या है दोस्तों? इसका मतलब है visible life. This means visible life. Easy everybody. It means visible life. And in this Phanerozoic era, are you writing? Keep writing. In this Phanerozoic life, in this Phanerozoic eon, there are 3 eras called Paleozoic. Everybody, it is called Paleozoic. You have second one called as Mesozoic, and we have third called Cenozoic. Easy everybody. Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic. Now within that Paleozoic we have certain periods like Cambrian, like Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, Permian. Now what is this? In this Paleozoic, this is eon, this is era, in it certain periods are there. Now there are certain important things I can tell you. Now you understand why this is called as Precambrian era, because Cambrian is just after that. तो इसके पहले वाला सारा it's called Precambrian. Precambrian के पहले we are not very sure what was happening, but yes, a commonsensical thing is there. This might have happened, this might have happened, but we are not sure कि how this Aravalli was formed or how this appellation was formed. There are a lot of assumptions going around, but yes, ठीक है, this is how it goes. Now in these periods also something important, something not important also happened. Now जैसे कि यहाँ पे एक चीज है कि during the Cambrian time certain mountains were created and all of this happened, but very importantly you understand Ordovician and Silurian, here somewhere here the first mass extinction took place. What is mass extinction, anyone? Mass extinction is the biodiversity loss happening at a very rapid rate and also at very extensive. It is said that more than 75% of the existing biodiversity is gone. That is called as mass extinction. More than 75%, more than 3/4 of the existing biodiversity is gone, is called mass extinction. Now when this is gone, कब हो रहा है? Ordovician Silurian time में. After then again, let me tell you, हमारे अर्थ पे there have been 5 mass extinction. Almost all the life was gone. छोटे मोटे कीड़े मकोड़े बचे थे. From those कीड़े मकोड़े again the life started evolving, speciation, adaptation started happening. ऐसे बहुत बार हो चुका है. In fact, after the Permian time there was such a severe mass extinction, and after this again a mass extinction happened somewhere between this Devonian and Carboniferous period में here second mass extinction took place, second mass extinction. And what is most important is in the Carboniferous period, it is very important to understand here the first coal formation happened. The first coal was formed. कहां पे? Generally these coals are found in two places, three places you can say: North America, Europe, and some part of Asia. In all these places, this coal is found. This is the oldest coal. आपको पता है how the coal is formed? This is said that just before this Carboniferous period, the earth was covered with very, very huge trees. बहुत बड़े-बड़े trees थे, even 100 meter, 200 meters tall trees, even taller than these today's equatorial rainforest. Such great trees were formed. And then there were certain depressions formed, certain gadhe, certain small depressions, synclines were formed. In these synclines, all these trees got subsided somehow because of these plate tectonics and all. Over a period of time, they undergone certain great temperature and pressure. और इतने great temperature and pressure के बाद, they got converted into coal called as Carboniferous coal. These are the oldest coal, best coals found in North America, Europe and Asia. And let me tell you, India में that coal is not found. इसके बाद जो coal formation हुआ, that type of coal in India is found, called as Gondwana type coal, called as Gondwana coal. That is why India has to import lot of coal from places like Australia और बाकी जगहों से. जो better type of coal होता है हमको हमारे steel plants के लिए चाहिए. That is something we actually import from the outside. Is it good, everybody? Fine. Now this is happening in the Carboniferous period. That is, first coal is being formed. Then in the Permian period, or say the most important, after the Permian period, here again third mass extinction took place. अच्छा, आपको पता है why mass extinction is taking place? That's more important question. Either it is because of global warming, global cooling, volcanism, solar radiation getting stopped, or lot of nutrients going into the sea, और sea में जाकर के इतना nutrient हो गया that it actually started choking the sea because of algal bloom. इतने ज़्यादा algae हो गए that other organisms did not get any opportunity to have oxygen there. Sometimes oxygen ज़्यादा हो गया तो it started cooling. Sometimes carbon dioxide ज़्यादा हो गया, it started warming. Sometimes meteor आके गिर गया, attack, correct, asteroid impact की वजह से. So yes, there are a lot of reasons क्योंकि वजह से mass extinction होता है. ठीक है? Third mass extinction, and let me tell you, this is the most dangerous, most lethal mass extinction we have seen till date, because more than 96% organisms were gone. In cosmos, it is told that वो जो series है उसमें बताते हैं कि only some of the insects were saved, and from those insects again the life started evolving. So multiple times almost the life has been eradicated from the Earth's surface, and eventually it came up. एक बात है. Now this has started after the Permian time. Now after the Permian time, this comes the Mesozoic times, and Mesozoic times में we have three periods that is called as Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. You understand? But what is the average time between? Are these? Yes, these are random. No time space as such. कितने time के बाद होता है? These are random. And exact time space, if you want, NCERT में वो time scale में पीछे it is all given with the time also. कितने 250 million years, 50 million, 100 million वो सब दिया हुआ है. ठीक है? Do refer to that for this. Sir, can we also go extinct randomly? हाँ बिल्कुल साक्षी, ऐसे ही हो गया. जैसे इंसान जाता है ना एकदम परेशान रहता है, ये काम नहीं हुआ, वो काम नहीं हुआ, ये नहीं मिला, वो नहीं मिला, इससे काम रह गया, उससे काम रह गया. एक दिन अचानक आता है और निकल लेता है और सारा काम रह जाता है और फिर सारा काम हो भी जाता है. लाइफ कीप्स गोइंग ऑन, द वर्ल्ड कीप्स गोइंग ऑन. हम भी हो सकता है हो जाए. व्हेन अर्थ बैलेंसेस आउट, व्हाट इफ देयर इज अ थैनोस वेटिंग फॉर अस? थैनोस ने क्या किया था? ही वाज सच अ गुड पर्सन यार. डोंट यू थिंक? आपको क्या लगता है थैनोस डिड व्हाट? Thanos was actually a good person. This is what I believe. He was actually an environmentalist, understanding the carrying capacity of the ecosystems. He said, there are so many people. One flash, एक चुटकी दबाया, and then half of the population is gone. Acha, he was so good. इसने भी ऐसा नहीं बोला, अच्छा, all the black people die, all the lower caste people die, all the people from this religion die. Correct? Thanos was self-anointed God. हाँ तो होगा ही भाई. He was not even discriminating. At times God discriminates. अभी हम क्या बोले? तो Thanos ने क्या किया? बिना किसी discrimination के 50% gone. Nobody asked him to do all of this, but he was doing a good thing. Actually, don't get serious. Thanos, in fact, did not do anything. Some movie mein. But see, even if in the movie, don't you think? I'm not saying that this will happen. Let me tell you, Sakshi and others, a theory will study in named Malthus. Malthus, पता है क्या बोलता है? If it leads to the overpopulation, if the population increases so much, there will be so much impact on food security. So the nature has to take care of it. तो आपको पता है what is the solution he is giving or what is the way forward? He says the nature will come with certain checks. Famine आ जाएगा, flood आ जाएगा, disaster आ जाएगा, है ना? Pandemics आ जाएंगे. There will be war, and this is how the nature controls. और फिर population control करके balance में आएगा. So I think Thanos was a Malthusian. Thanos was probably had this theory. Geography में कहीं तो पढ़ा होगा उसने. Positive checks it is called. Thanos is a type of positive check. So I am talking from that perspective, and that too very funny way. I am not being serious. I mean, अगर वो कर भी दिया, तो don't you think बिना discrimination के half of the population is gone, and then the Earth's carrying capacity will be taken care of. Correct? Don't you think? Because the population did not think of controlling the population. अगर हमने खुद सोचा होता, probably Thanos would not have been there. ठीक है? The survival of the fittest. हाँ, अभी जो भी है. अच्छा, ऐसा भी नहीं है कि he was so sure. Correct? ऐसा होता Thanos ने बोलता कि अच्छा अभी मैंने कर दिया है. All these Avengers should also be gone. Some of the Avengers gone, some of the Avengers got saved. No discrimination. Correct? I mean, from that point of view, I really liked Thanos. Yeah, Thanos was not discriminatory. He did just on a very, very level playing field पे. ठीक है, हाँ, बस सेल्फ गॉड बन गया तो क्या करें? तो हमको तो वही गॉड चाहिए जो हमने बनाया है. हमने तो वही चाहिए जो हमने बनाया है अपने अपने गॉड. Correct? In fact, that's the debate. God made us or we made God. I'm not sure क्या है. I hope you can answer this. क्या लगता है आपको? Who made God or God made us? पता नहीं. Now, this is the time in the Triassic time. Correct? In the Triassic time or just before it, there were so much of reptiles available. You know what are reptiles? For example, crocodile जैसे दिखते हैं ना? Crocodiles features were so much available on the earth. And let me tell you, these are the crocodiles, not of crocodilian size. They were the size of elephant, 3-4 times of the elephant, just one crocodile. They were so big. These are the reptiles. And let me tell you, these reptiles were there, and somehow these dinosaurs starting to come out. छोटे मोटे dinosaurs थे. And let me tell you, पकड़ पकड़ के मारा dinosaurs को. किसने? Reptiles ने. Reptiles कर ही नहीं पा रहे थे. Reptiles से वो overcome नहीं कर पाए थे. Dinosaurs were not able to find their feet. क्योंकि reptiles were so big, खा जाते थे उनको. खत्म. But this also was the time when on the earth there was this big land called as Pangaea. And Pangaea was breaking into two. ऊपर वाले को क्या बोला? Laurasia. नीचे वाला broken into and the named as Gondwana land. Gondwana land. Correct, everybody? Now this was also happening, and somehow because of this, lot of volcanism, lot of things happened, and so much of pollution, air pollution, garmi ho gaya, and these reptiles were not able to adapt, and they got extinct. But dinosaurs कैसे बच गए? Because dinosaurs somehow, some of the species of dinosaurs learned to fly. So they could fly from one place to the other, and they probably got settled in some other places जहाँ पे it was good, fine, and somehow they got saved. And that is why in this Jurassic time, it was the age of dinosaurs. And during the Jurassic times only, all these land, Laurasia and Gondwana, started moving into different direction. And eventually in the Cretaceous period, this land यहाँ पे all of these small continents were being created. This was the time when all these continents were being created, because this particular Laurasia and Gondwana land started breaking into multiple parts: North America, South America, Eurasia, Africa, Australia, India. They all Antarctica. They all started becoming very much scattered, very much small. एक बात है. Now, this was all happening during this Mesozoic times. And let me tell you, there was another mass extinction happening. कहाँ पे? Here. I told you because of this. यहाँ पे another mass extinction was there, waiting between Triassic and Jurassic. This mass extinction was happening because of which that reptile, this volcanism and all. So this is called second, third, and this is fourth mass extinction. And you know how the dinosaurs were gone? Anybody? After this Cretaceous time, this is the fifth mass extinction. Anybody? How the dinosaurs were gone? It is said that, it is theorized that, multiple theories. One of the truly accepted theory is asteroid impact. That a big asteroid fell on the earth somewhere in the Mexico Yucatan Peninsula, and there it fell and started creating such big waves, such big, huge amount of dust and gases into the atmosphere, stopped the sunlight, and whatever big animals were there, they got swept off. And let me tell you, it was very necessary. Otherwise, the human as species could never come. क्यों? डायनासोर्स मार के खा जाते. डायनासोर्स को जाना जरूरी था, so that the human as a species could come. Easy understood, everybody? So this is the fifth mass extinction. And after this, we had this time of Cenozoic. In this Cenozoic, we have two periods. Friends, यहाँ पे दो periods हैं. One is called as tertiary. The other is called as quaternary. Quaternary. Now, tertiary mein, this is the period. In this period, multiple epochs are there. For example, Paleocene, Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene, Pliocene. And this is the time when all these continents जो कि break हो गए थे, they started to moving around. When your multiple tertiary fold mountains were created. For example, Himalayas. For example, Andes. For example, Rockies. For example, Alps. For example, Atlas. Such mountains were created during this time. For example, अगर मैं बात करूं आपसे, तो Paleocene, Eocene time पे it was about, mid Himalaya, Trans Himalayas and Great Himalayas were being formed. This Miocene time पे it was more about mid Himalayas were being formed. Pliocene time पे it was about Shivaliks. तो हम वो बाद में करेंगे, देखेंगे. So again, this was the whole time, and it is believed that Pliocene time पे the first human ancestor came. Have you heard or have you read this book called Sapiens, written by Yuval Noah Harari? Anybody? It's a very popular book, bestseller थी. अच्छा, fully नहीं पढ़ा, but कोई बात नहीं. Let me tell you, like we have different species of different animals today. There was a time when human, हम क्या है, Homo sapiens. There was lot of species. At least 6 human species were there. And over a period of time, survival of the fittest, Homo sapiens got saved, बाकी सब eradicate कर गए. Homo erectus थे, Homo habilis थे, lot of other species were there. युवाल नोआ हरारी बोलते हैं एटलीस्ट 6 थे. कुछ बहुत छोटे थे, कुछ काफी लंबे थे, और some of them were gone and Homo sapiens got saved. तो हम जितने हैं ना, we are all what? Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. कहां से आ रहे हैं? गिबन, चिम्स, इन्हीं सब से बने होंगे. This is what we believe. First human ancestor. Correct? And after that, this is the time called quaternary. Quaternary time pe we have two epochs. One is called as Pleistocene, and then we have what? Holocene. This Pleistocene is called the Ice Age. Have you watched that movie, Ice Age? This is the Ice Age. Now everything was under snow. सब कुछ क्या था? ग्लेशियर में आ गया था. And every land got connected. Land got connected somehow. Some places were not connected, but yes, most of them are connected. But because we have God-like powers, हमारे पास God-like powers है. What is God, Pankaj Yadav? I'm not sure. It is said that the Neanderthals were very big in size, but Homo sapiens were clever than them. Yes, absolutely. Homo sapiens का जो cranial capacity था, that was greater. न्यूरॉन्स वगैरह ज्यादा थे, हम ज्यादा अच्छा सोच सकते थे. इनफैक्ट होमो सेपियंस का आने का कारण भी यही था. इट इज नॉट जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द बिल्ट होता तो हम शेर से कैसे जीतते? बिकॉज ऑफ आवर सोशल बिहेवियर. आपको पता है वन ऑफ द रीजंस होमो सेपियन इज सच अ स्ट्रॉन्ग स्पीशीज बिकॉज वी कैन लिव इन ग्रुप्स. देयर इज सेंस ऑफ कोऑपरेशन. Yuval Noah Harari says it is very less seen that any species should or can live in a group more than 150 individuals. 150 से ज्यादा होते हैं, बिखरने लगते हैं, टूटने लगते हैं, लड़ाई झगड़े हो जाते हैं. बट कैन यू बिलीव 1.5 billion people living in a country called India? Correct? Why? Because we can sell stories, we have ideas, we have communication. हमारे पास imagination है. हमारे पास हमने एक imaginary माता बनाई है, भारत माता. You know, भारत माता is what? Imaginary माता ही है. Yes, this is the land, correct? But that imagination, हमारे पास भारत माता है. So we all feel connected to that Bharat Mata. That is the sense, that is the story. Story क्या है? Nation. Having a nation is called story. Nation क्या होता है? Nation is not this country. Nation is just an idea. किसी ने create कर दिया idea nation का. We are all coming from one nation. Why? Because we speak German. तो हम Germany हैं. ठीक है? We have strong community values that help to. Very good. साक्षी देगा एकदम. साक्षी ने पकड़ लिया मुझको. ठीक है, yes, absolutely. साक्षी आपने पढ़ी है यानी बुक. Good. Now, Pleistocene, Ice Age. It was all cold. That means global cooling. But after that, every ice age is, succeeded by a warm age. So this Holocene is called warm age. And this is the age where we are living. This is the age where we are living, and this is the age of global warming. So don't you think हमारा जो global warming है, it is actually naturally taking place. Naturally there is global warming happening, isn't it? So why are we worrying for कि sir global warming बहुत हो रहा है, sir climate change हो रहा है, and all of this is happening? Why are we worrying? In fact, people like Pagla Trump, they are very happy. Yes, people are saying that it is naturally happening. Naturally happening. This warm age is actually a result of the geological history. We are not causing anything. Why? Because, yes, correct. It is problematic because this is leading to sixth mass extinction. Leading to sixth mass extinction. As per the WWFN report, Living Planet report, it says around 73% of reptiles, fish, mammals, birds we have lost since 1970. 50 साल में 1970-2020 में lost. क्यों? Because this is not just the natural warming. Here we can actually blame industrial revolution for this. So much of coal burning, fossil fuel burning, so much of greenhouse gas emission, so much of industrialization, pollution, and this is all leading to sixth mass extinction. In fact, scientists are saying this should not be called Holocene. It should be considered what? Anthropocene. And somebody asked, sir, हम भी randomly चले जाएंगे क्या? And let me, yes, Anthropocene बता दिया भाई, बता दिया आपके बोलने के पहले ही. Now, it is problematic. Trump and other countries अगर बोलेंगे कि naturally warm है, so don't you think they don't have to pay for what they have caused? उन्होंने इतना colonialism किया, इतना लूटा खसोटा, exploitation किया. Right now they are paying some money to UNFCCC and all. So what do they want? They want कि कोई पैसा न ले हमसे, हमने जो कर लिया. Now everybody just agree this is naturally happening. तो हम क्या करें उसमें? And if you call it as Anthropocene, हमको करना पड़ेगा because we have exploited, we have caused deforestation, we have caused pollution, we have caused so much of greenhouse gases emission. And that is why every time Trump comes, वो बोलता नहीं climate change is nothing. अब मैं नहीं मानता हूँ. वो पुल आउट कर लेता है यूएस को फ्रॉम ऑल दी स्टॉक्स एंड ऑल. तो अब वो है जो है, आप क्या कर सकते हैं. Yes, this is Anthropocene. Now this Holocene period, Sakshi, is considered here. The global warming is happening at not a natural speed. It is happening very rapidly. And why this is happening? Because not of natural reason, because of anthropogenic causes. So it should be named as Anthropocene. Yuval Noah Harari suggests is around 10,000 years ago, we had 6 trillion trees. 6 trillion. And right now we have only 3 trillion trees. 50% reduction just in 10,000 years. And this is all happening because of, say, agriculture, because of human coming onto the surface. And this mass extinction is again very problematic. Why? Because this is happening at a very great rate, very rapid speed पे हो रहा है. पहले जब होता था ना, it was easy for other organisms to adapt, क्योंकि slow होता था. So they had enough time to adapt and evolve. But here, if it is happening so fast, कैसे adapt करेंगे, कैसे evolve करेंगे? It will become so problematic. ठीक है? That is why it is very, very problematic. और इसी का हवाला देते हैं सब लोग कि नहीं करना चाहिए, ऐसा है, वैसा है, ये प्रॉब्लम, वो प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है? Correct. Now, everybody done with this scale? Let's come on to the first part. I hope it is done. It is all good. You understood everything. Morpho means it is about shape or say structure, and logy is study. So don't you think we are geomorphology mein, this is the study of structure and shapes of the earth's surface, and basically it is about crust. Whatever crust pe landforms are there, whatever features are there, when we actually study them in terms of their shape and sizes, how they are created, this is the study of geomorphology. बहुत अंदर नहीं जाएंगे हम. In the earth, if you start going very much inside, talking just about minerals, talking about other layers and everything you'll do, that will become the part of geology. And geology हम नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं. ठीक है, हम नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं. Sir, we have to learn every single word. Whatever landform today we have, this landform is created because of two forces. One is called as exogenic, the other is called as endogenic. What is these two, say forces? Endogenic is something which is being applied from inside the earth. Inside the earth, earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, plate movement, land blocks moving from here to there, continental rift, whatever is happening from the inside. Don't you think it will give shape to the earth's surface? And then there are certain things, exogenics, which is being applied from the outside. जैसे river ऊपर बह रही है, glaciers, wind, ocean currents, water, streams, correct? This is all coming from the outside. Don't you think whatever is being created from inside or endogenic, it is all being leveled up and it is all being shaped because of whatever is happening onto the surface. So any landform is actually a result of what? The competition between exogenic forces and the endogenic forces. Isn't it, everybody? Endogenic is coming from the inside. अभी हम आगे भी पढ़ेंगे. Endogenic from the inside, exogenic is from the outside. So whatever we see today, that is something, the result of these two. For example, Himalayas. Himalayas are so tall, but don't you think rivers, glaciers are cutting it down? But don't you think endogenic forces are too great there? That is why Himalayas are so tall. Endogenic ज़्यादा चल रहा है किससे? Exogenic से. That is why it is rising up. But you see Aravalli, छोटा सा हो गया. क्यों? Because उसको glacier, river, wind ने काट दिया होगा. And here the rate of upliftment बहुत छोटा हो गया होगा. Endogenic forces would be very slow, but exogenic forces would have become very great. कट करके उसको छोटा कर दिया. So every landform is actually a result of the competition between these two. Now this can be studied in 3 branches: tectonic, structural and applied geomorphology. Geomorphology की branches हैं. Can be studied in tectonic, then structure and then applied. हम सारा पढ़ेंगे. Tectonic में it is to do with what? Plate tectonic theory, continental drift theory, sea floor spreading theory. This is what we'll do. In structure, we'll be talking about landforms. Landforms पढ़ेंगे. We'll be talking about slope. We'll be talking about theories related to them like Davis, Spank, etc. In applied, whatever is useful, whatever is in use of humanity, for example, minerals, for example, rivers, for example, floods, for example, anything which is there on the earth related to this land surface. कहाँ पे कौन सा मिनरल है, कहाँ पे फ्लड आ जाता है, कहाँ पे रिवर अपना रास्ता बदल देती है. It is all done here. So this is called 3 branches, and all these 3 branches we'll study in geomorphology. Write down everybody, geomorphology. लिखिए. It is the study of Earth's landform. It is the study of Earth's landform, their shape, their shapes, distribution, features, shapes, distribution, features, and formation on Earth's surface. On Earth's surface. Next point. It includes landforms shaped by exogenic, that is surface processes, shaped by exogenic, that is surface processes, and endogenic, that is internal processes. Next, over time, geomorphology, next point, over time, geomorphology evolved into specialized branches. Geomorphology evolved into specialized branches such as A. Tectonic geomorphology, dealing with forces and energy inside the earth. Example, tectonic processes. B. Structural geomorphology, dealing with shape, composition, and structure of landforms and slopes. Structures of landforms and slopes. C. Applied geomorphology, it deals with it deals with to solve human problems, or it deals with human problems. Like flood management, landslide management, resource utilization, etc.